So guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you're watching from. So it's a weekend obviously, so we're trying to look at some volatility pairs to trade. Basically gonna have to take away all my jump. So we're just sticking with VIX. So looking at probably trading or picking like three pairs that we could trade for the day, assuming we do see good entry points. Um, we could start with VIX 100. I don't think I've done any analysis on VIX 100, so we could look at VIX 100 and then what's this? Why isn't it loading? Okay, cool. So let me just take out all okay, let me just take out everything so we could start afresh. So um this is VIX 100, right? And we need to look at the directional bias of the trade and then what we could possibly do if we're gonna look in to buy the trade or probably sell. All right, so we'll be starting from our daily time frame. It's always good to get an overall view of the market direction. So from this, we can see that this trade is selling because we have our trend line here, right? We have our come on, okay, it was still loading though. We have our trend line here, which is giving that sell move, that sell momentum. So it's simply showing that the market is still selling, and then obviously we have break of structures to the downside. So we've got one here, we've got another break of structure here to the downside. So all of these are just giving vibes that the market is selling, and then there's a high tendency of the market taking out this last low here. So this is basically what we should be looking at, probably selling the market. It doesn't mean if we don't see a good buy opportunity, we won't enter the trade. Okay, so this is what the daily time frame is showing us. Okay, so obviously the market is still selling. Then from the 4 hours, okay, 4 hours is equally giving us a sell trend, right? It's still giving us a sell trend. You can see the breaks of structures to the downside, and then no recent high has been taken out except for this that would call it like an inducement that had been taken out. Okay, and then immediately came back down. So we still need this low to be taken out in order to confirm that this sell is still in a continuation phase. So we need to break below here. I don't know where it's going to retrace from, but we need to break below this low here in order to confirm that the sell is still, it's still selling, obviously. So with what we can see from the 4 hours, yeah, like I said, the market is selling, although we would see clearly on a lower time frame, okay, because all of this is creating lower highs and lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So we just need all of those confluences in place. All right, so let's go to our 1 hour and see what we can spot from this. So I technically use price action for my synthetic trading. Okay, I prefer using thread lines and whatnot, yeah, but I do use demand and supply zones when the need for it arises. All right, so we could see here that this sell market is still selling on the 1 hour time frame with series of breaks of structures to the downside, and then price tried breaking above the trend line but then came back in it. All right, so it's still a good confirmation for a sell. So we've gotten like a key factor as to why we should be selling this trade. So we just need more confluence. All right, and then the current price action that is printing, this current candle that is printing, you can see it's the wick is actually a bit the bottom wick, yeah, it's actually a bit too long and it's giving a kind of like a rejection vibe. But I mean, we need to wait to see how this 1 hour candle prints fully. So if it prints with a full body and closing, let's say something like this, if it then closes this whole candle, yeah, like this, then I think it's safe to say, oh, the sell is active, and then we can hop into the sell to the bottom horizontal line that we have. All right, so this is what the 1 hour time frame is telling us. Um, I think all our time frames are giving us sell indication, so it's a good criteria for us to look at. Probably selling the trade. So I don't use the 30 minutes time frame, so I'm just gonna jump down to my 15 minutes and then look at my 15 minutes is telling me also. So we could see that our 15 minutes was equally selling, and then it came back up. Um, took out this. There's what we call an SLQ level, right? I hope it took it out though. Nope, it wasn't taken out, although it would have made more sense if we had taken it out. And then we have our first sweep of liquidity over here, and then this here is our protected high. I'll adjust it, sorry. and then this right here is our protected high. So when we have something like this, then we ought to be looking for entries within this point here, within this point. So you could actually go down to your lower time frame and get like a fine-tuned entry. All right, maybe like a mini supply zone or something, and then get your entry from there. Or you could probably use this QML level here, which is what we already have marked out. So but now this we the market did not sweep the SLQ, it did take out the SLQ. So we are still, I mean, the trend line is still a good option though, but I would have loved it to take out this SLQ first before hopping in for a sell, assuming we do meet all our criteria. So as you can see, it's still buying. Hopefully, it's buying to take out the SLQ, which is this trend line here. Let me change the color to what color do I use? Let me use this. I think this is like red or something. Yeah. So it's hopefully you're gonna have to take out this red trend line, okay, and then tap into the zone, the extreme zone we have up here, the extreme supply. And then let's see the price action that will be printed. Like I said, you need to wait till this 1 hour candle fully like finish printing. And currently it's not giving a good vibe because of the rejection from the bottom week. So if it closes like this, then there's a high tendency that this our entry point to the sell side might not hold, and then we could probably be looking for buys all the way. We could probably be looking for buys all the way back to, I don't know, maybe this trend line up here, which is this massive 4 hour trend line that we have. Okay, so it's still another thing to look out for. But then, like I said, we need to wait for this 1 hour candle to finish close, and if it closes back into the range, it's a good sign. Okay, then we can hop into the sell, neglecting this entry points from this QML zone. But then if it doesn't and it buys up, then we need to see the reaction it creates at this QML level to know if we can actually still hop in for the sell, or if it's actually going in for a buy, and then we take the trade. So that was it for the 15 minutes. So I think our 5 minutes is just to get a cleaner entry. Okay, so I'm looking at this zone here. All right, there was a little bit of like mitigation within this zone before the rapid fall or the rapid dip to the downside. So that's why I'm looking at this particular level here. So if I was to enter for this trade here, I would wait for the price to come here, and then I'll just place my stop loss a little bit above here, and then my TP down. Where was that level? Sorry. Okay, it's still down below them. All right, so like I said, I'll be placing my entry here, assuming all the criteria are met here. Stop loss just above here, and then take profit down here. So this is basically 1:8, because we're risking $5 to make 40, and that's like, yeah, 5 times 8 gives you 40. So that's your 1:8 risk to reward trade. Like I said, assuming all like our criteria have been met. But the way the 1 hour candle is printing above the trend line in this manner, with the rejecting week, is giving a very huge sense of shifting bias. All right, so we'll be looking out for probably, like I said, buying or selling. But I am more opposed to selling as to buying. So like I said, we still need to wait to see what the price action would literally create, because if it buys above this particular point, it simply means it's going to take out the liquidity above here. Okay, and if it takes out the liquidity and comes into this zone, it's a very good move to start selling all the way down, because that simply means the market has gathered enough move, right, enough liquidity literally, yeah, to push the price all the way down. Because basically, if it's not gathering liquidity, then there's literally no way it can move all the way down here. Okay, or take out this external low that we have, the swing low. So this is my bias on VIX 100, and we'll patiently wait to see how the trade plays out.